Welcome to the students of the SLW600, and which is nothing but law and jurisprudence, in other words, or we can say legal theory. And today, that I already told you yesterday, that I am going to deal the kinds of law or classification of law or types of law. And here I would like to give you a nutshell what is the difference in classified. And I believe that in online people also they could see it. I posted something on the online, on the screen. Could you see it? Say yes. But friends,
Yes, sir.
I appreciate. Law can be classified into different categories. They may be common law and equity, civil and criminal law, public and private law, substantive and procedural law, written and unwritten law. These different cases of classes of the law have their unique feature, yet sometimes they overlap it. Is a general categorization. When you see the scope of the law, it is different again. When you see the scope of the law, it can be divided into two categories, means two domains. Number one, public law, concern government and society, including the constitutional law and administrative law and criminal law. And private law, what is private law? Consisting of what? Anyone, either online or offline. Yes, law of contract, transfer of property law, even the personal law, family law also. Am I right? Those who are online, are you following me?
Yes, we are following.
Yes, why did not you give the answer to my question? Okay, no matter. So, the private law deals with the legal disputes between the individuals and organization, even the state. And such as the contracts, the property, torts. In other words, we can say torts as a delicts. D-E-L-I-C-T-S, delicts. Of course, that is I believe the French, if I'm not mistaken, terminology. And commercial law. These are the private laws are concerned. So, when you go through it, the nature of it, the domain of it, the function of it, the law can be classified, depending upon. In the main category of the domain, in a man, what are the categories? In a man, human being. Tell me. Anyone? Blended mode. Blended mode means online people, including the offline people. Human beings are divided into two domains, he and she. Of course, a new domain has come now. I don't know whether, do you have the knowledge? LGBT or SGBT? LGBT. Transgender. Mapata. Transgender also, this is one of the category. He, she, and transgender. Three now domains. So, but when you see, when you classify the he, means man, will classify in different category. What? Infant, adolescent, young, old. Am I right? Regarding the status of a man, status, again we will make it out. What profession he made? Doctor, engineer, lawyer, architect. We will divide in that manner. So when you see the car, what car you have? Sorry, I don't feel it. Sir, why you are asking whether I have the car, whether you are wife, whether you are machumba? No, I am asking the question. Do you have the car? What brand it is? Toyota is having the brand. Toyota is a trade name, a manufacturing name. In Toyota, there are many types of classifications are there again. Toyota is only one branded, like Toyota is there, Ford is there, Jaguar is there, Mercedes is there. These are all the different types of the automobiles. But when you say Toyota, when you classify the Toyota regarding the model, version, like what model do you have? Ipsum, Toyota Ipsum. In once upon a time, Crescenta is a very good. Crescenta. Have you heard? Crescenta model. Or Crescent, if I not be mistaken. A good model would be there at the time. Once upon a time. But these models are changes from time to time. Is it or not? Again, I will make it out. Do you have diesel version or petrol version? Did you get my point? Yeah, I will give you. Diesel version means the fuel you are using it. Diesel, petrol. So versions are two versions. One is a diesel version, another is petrol version. Okay, again I will categorize it. I will make it out. It is a floor gear or auto gear? Auto gear. In auto gear, there no gear system would be there. And only how many pedals are there? Pedals. One is brake, one is accelerator. And here only neutral is there, return is there, some reverse is there, you can change it. So these are all the categories, type and models and versions. So in the same way, here also I made it like a big domains are two. Number one, public law. Number two, private law. But when you see the other aspects of it, nature of the aspect of it, it will varies again. Now we will see how it can vary again. So now at least do you know the type and kind and classification. Type means version, floor or gear. Next, diesel version or petrol version. When you say the kinds and classifications, classification comes regarding the variable. So now we will see what the variables that we will use it here. And law can be classified in many ways, which depends upon the perspective, use, or system concerned. See, three variables are here. Three variables. What? Number one, perspective. Number two, use, and the system concern. Even the system concerned also there. Some of the famous classification of the law is as explained here in below. So a famous classification is given over here. Number one, positive law and natural law. A positive law and a natural law. Number two, common law and civil law regarding the system is concerned. And number three, public law and private law. And number four, substantive law and procedural law. Number five, common law and equity. So now this classification is based on perspective, use, and system. So now let us see that number one, positive law and natural law. A law is a social rule posted by the human being to regulate in a general and a binding manner the social behavior of human being as social being in a given society. Why the law is needed? Anyone? Why the law is needed? What is the requirement of law? To run the society in the smooth manner, there should be a bundle of rules. The bundle of rules are called law. Is it clear? Very good, very good. So, then law in be classified in many ways. Again, laws. How? Depends upon, I told you, perspective and other things. But again, we see characteristic of positive law. What is the characteristic of a positive law? In a positive law characteristic, and you have studied, Austin says, what Austin says regarding law? Is the command of the state. Am I right? So, a characteristic of the positive law is, number one, they say command. Command is there, characteristic. And number two, sovereign authority. Means if you don't do it, you will be criminalized or penalized or you're taken an action. Sovereign authority means great. No other say. Once you said, over. Sovereign authority, and see, if you don't do it, punishment. And the sanctions. Punishment is different, sanctions are different. Please note the point. Punishment may be the corporal body, and punishment also financially, penalty. But what is sanction? Anyone? Yes, say loudly. Yeah, you are near to that one, but I want specific. You might have studied the international law, is it not? International law you studied. Suppose if the UN peacekeeping force or the Security Council word will not be heard by any one of the member state, the UN keep the sanctions over the country. What are the sanctions? Number one, diplomatic relations are curtailed. Number two, no flights should come. Number three, no export and import, means economic sanction. No export and import, and everything is standstill. No doubt it is a punishment, but it is a sanction. Is it clear? Yes. So they can make number one, command, number two, sovereign immunity, number three, punishment, number four, sanctions. For the characteristic of a positive law is concerned. This is done. And let us see the natural law. What is natural law? Law is God-given. It is inherent and immutable. The God-given law. A God-given law says a man and a woman should marry. Am I right? But what is this? A man and a man marry? A woman and a woman marry? Is it not against the nature? God says, why? God says man and a woman should marry. If the man and man marries, what will happen? You will not be no more. I may not be no more. Are you following me? If a woman and a woman marry, even no one be no more. Means no progeny. Progeny, offspring. So, that is the word. A man should have to marry a woman. Is it clear? That is a natural law. That is a God-made law. And another point here is, and that is inherent and immutable. Automatically inherent, that is, like human rights. Human rights are inherent rights. Being a human is enough. Automatically right falls on you. And those rights cannot be waived out. You cannot waive it. And immutable. Mutation, you know. Mutation means division. Mutation means division or cutting, rather we can say. But immutation, you cannot go against the nature of the land. Did you see at any time the sun rises from the west? Why? Natural law. But at the time of the Qiyamah, I don't know whether you know, Qiyamah, everything will be collapsed. Resurrection day. At the time, sun rises from the west. That means the total earth planet will be imbalanced. It will be immersed and total covered with the water. Everything will be buried. On that time. Of course, that is the mythology says. Even a scientific reason also there. And that is a God-made law. There is a natural law. And they come to the second point, common law and civil law, which is a system of law. Common law and civil law is a system of law. Tanzania will follow which system of law? Anyone? Common law system, Tanzania will follow. Online people, are you there?
Yes,
Online
sir.
people, are you there?
Yes, Professor.
Yes, but there you are. Kimia.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, I appreciate. So, common law, then if I ask the question, what is common law? Anyone? Blended mode, either online or offline, no matter. A prudent person supposed to do in a particular manner, it is said to be the common law. A sane man. Or we can say, a common law is that law where the English court will practice. Or common law comes to that area where British rule was there, that country is called common law country. Is it clear? How the Britishers use it? They use it morals, ethics, customs, and a rightful man supposed to do it. And that is the common law practice. And for example, I will give you that. If you want to spit, you know spitting? Say that again, Kiswahili? Usivuta wa hapa means no, don't smoke here. Don't spit here. Usi? Yes, say loudly. Okay. That is written over there. If you go against it, it's a breach.
Fine.
It's a fine.
Yes.
Okay, now there is a spit tunes that places are called spit tunes. Spit tune, a place where we can spit. Now, I will ask you, what is the best way to spit? Either spit in front of you, either spit to your right, either you spit to your up Jew, or you spit to your left, or you have to spit to your back. Now you tell me. Anyone? That is common law. Yes, anyone? Which is the best way to spit?
Down.
Sema?
Downwards. To spit down.
Downwards.
Yes.
Okay, I appreciate it. When you spit downwards, again you will tread on it. You step on it.
Yes.
So, a practice a prudent man is supposed to do is, you spit to the left, and that to be bending. And, of course, the people, those who are, I can start my video so that you could see how I am making the things. See, you should spit in such a way. Could you see my face?
Yes, we see your
What is my chatty face? Yes, now I can understand. When you spit, no?
Come again?
Yeah. You bend left hand side like this and hold the hand like this and you spit it to the left. By keeping the palm adjacent to your lips or cheeks. The reason is, you tell me, why do you spit in that way? A simple reason. The spit, what I say, sparks, not, we don't say sparks, it is spills on somebody else, those who are going at back. If it is a wind blows. If the wind blows, it will fall on the man who is behind you. Hence, you have to keep the hand like this and you have to spit it. So that is the way of spitting. Who said? Criminal procedure said, civil procedure said, Constitution said, IPC said. It is a common law practice. A common man having the sane mind, sane mind. And that is the practice. Hence, you have to spit in that way. A simple example I am saying that with the spitting I give you. That is the best way of spitting. So when you are drinking water, the best way to drink water, you tell me? The best way to drink water. And again I will start my video so that you could understand. Suppose if it is a glass, can you drink water like that from Jew? Did you see the online people?
No.
Yes, we see.
Yes, now you tell me,
Yes, sir.
either offline or online, the best way to drink water. Sir, cucumber. Do you drink water in the cucumber? Huh? A glass. There is a water glass is different from the wine glass. Wine glass is different from a whiskey glass. Whiskey glass is different from beer glass. Are you following me? Sir, we don't drink. I say, who asked you to do? Did I say you drink? To me, bongo. Use your brain. Use your knowledge. There is a specific glasses are there to drink specific drinks. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
And, now a drinking glass is there. Generally drinking glass, neither it is mrefu, nor is mifupi, nor is mane, it is a manene, ona kati. Okay. You take the glass. Can you take the glass with the right hand again, left hand? Now you tell me. Of course, left-handers are there. Generally, they took the left hand. But the mythology says, and the holy book says, use the right hand. Use the right hand. When you use the right hand, again, please keep in the mind. You hold the glass like this. For instance, this mouse is a glass. And keep the left hand, chini, down. And you can make it out. Then you have to sip it. You have to sip that one, and the whole glass of water could not be swallowed or swallowed. It should be swallowed in 3 times. 3 times you take the break. Malisa. That is the best way of drinking the water. Who said? Who said common law practice? It is a common law practice. It's a scientific way of dealing with things. It is a scientific way of. And don't stand and drink the water. No. And don't stand and urinate. No. Of course, women cannot do. And squat. I say squat. Squat is different. Sir, commode is there. No, sir, we don't squat, sir. Now we sat on the matako. On the buttocks. Okay, there is a different issue again. Squat means sitting on the foot is called squat. You got that?
India.
Yes. You can squat and see. These are the common law practices. So enough. This example is enough for the common law practices. The classification is based on looking at the law as a legal system of a particular country. And today in the world, there are 2 major systems of law which are named as a common law and civil law. And the common law countries will follow the common law system, and which is adversarial system. Means it is you have to prove that he is a accused. It is you have to prove that you are a guilty man. And it is you have to prove that other man is a thief. Adversarial system. It is not inquisitorial system. Inquisitorial system is in the civil law. And where advocate role is less and judge role is more. In common law system, advocate role is more and the judge role is interpretation, justification. So that is the countries that are ruled by the Britons are part and parcel of the common law wealth countries, and where the civil law or the continental law is a system of law that is mostly used by countries like, so what are the civil law countries? Anyone? Say loudly.
Frenchy.
What French? France, you say. French is the language. Germany?
Belgium.
Yes, Belgium. And most of the European countries you see, the common law system is there. The Dutch also have. The common law system is there. And the common law system, there is a common code is there. A common code. With that, for instance, you take what is common code. In the law of tort, I teach here in the common law country with the decided cases. Of some of the law of tort, like motor vehicle, the Road Traffic Act, and Government Proceeding Act, I put in the form of sections. But the same law of tort, I taught in the University of Asmara, which is a part of Ethiopia earlier, now Eritrea, independent country. I taught law of tort. Section 22 says, Section 35 says, Section 28 says. In that way, I taught. It's a common code is there. And in the sections, I have to teach. Of course, we can use the example, the common law country example also, plus illustration also. A tort will be taught in the form of a code, but here in the common law country, a tort will be taught in the form of a judge-made law, precedents. Only some parts of it is codified. But law of tort is uncodified law. Am I right? So that is the meaning. So the countries which were ruled by the French, and we call the Francophone states. I don't know whether the South anytime sent to the students to the all African moot court competition. Rosta, whether South or the Ruku, where you studied. Yeah. Do you study the Ruku? Tumaini, Iringa. Yeah, at the time, who is the director? Not director. What do you say? Vice Chancellor. We don't say Vice Chancellor. What do you say? The big boss there.
Mugeni.
Of course, now Sasavi Fariki. Amir Fariki. Anime Sawi.
Cephas.
Yeah,
Cephas
at the time I
Mugimo.
was teaching there as the part-timer. When he was the Vice Chancellor. Yeah, Provost. No, nimesahau jina.
Cephas Mgimwa. Cephas.
No, not this. Too many. I'm speaking with too many. I know the Migimwa.
Okay.
No, I'm speaking with the too many Iringa at the time. Okay, doesn't matter. See, if you don't use it, no, you will forget it. If you don't repeat it, you forget it. And hence, you have to repeat it. Then you don't forget it. If the long gap would be there, you will forget it. So now let us see, because there is a Lubava was there at the time, some DVC, and he was working. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So, each university should have to send their candidate for the all African moot court competition, human rights moot court. Yeah, why I am giving you this is, there is a two streams are there. One is Anglophone, another is Francophone. Two sessions are there. You can argue either in the French or you can argue in the English. So all the common law countries will argue in the English. The court is there. And all the French, the other thing, Francophone, they argue in the cases and everything because they studied the French. So there are two moot court competition in the African continent. One is a French, in another is English. So I used to sit in the English because I represented from the University of Dar es Salaam to the moot court competition, that is African, which is held in the Johannesburg, South Africa. So French is the Francophone and the civil law countries, mostly the European countries, and where the common law could be, common code is used over there. And then let us come to the third, public law and private law. And public law is generally the administrative law, the law regulated by the conduct of the administrative actions, and the private law means the tort law, contract law, and this is regulated by the relationship between the one person to another person and the individuals. So that is the thing when you say the public law is concerned. And when you say the substantial law and the private law and private law also we dealt it. That's the law of torts and the law of property. These are all the individual to individual, the relationship you will come across there. Then the fourth category is to be the substantial law and procedural law. And the substantial law, where you could find the rights and duties and penalties. And the substantial law refers to the portion of the country's legal system which defines the content of the legal norms and determines the legal subjects, the rights and duties. Like constitutional law, penal code, and procedural laws refer to the country's law of procedure by means of which substantial norms are enforced. Now I will ask you, both blended mode means those who are present physically, those who are present online. That is called blended mode. So my class is a blended mode class, both physically as well as online. Means on-site and online class. Both the things are there, two at a time. Okay, now let us see that. What is procedure law example? Anyone? Say loudly. Why you are keeping quiet? Criminal Procedure Code. Sir, we don't say code, sir, we say act. Okay. Criminal Procedure Act. In India, we don't say act, we say code. In the Zanzibar, they don't say act or code, they say decree. They use the word, of course, now they are changing also. And Civil Procedure Code. Tosha. The Government Proceeding Act is a procedural law. There is a substantial law also, the Government Proceeding Act. What is it? No, rules are there. Government proceeding rules are there. So rules are there. For every act there will be rules. And that is called subsidiary legislation or delegated legislation in another way. Law of limitation. Law of limitation. It is a procedural law. But in certain countries, no, they will treat as a substantial law. And what about the law of evidence? Yes, mute, I am getting the sound. What is the law of evidence? It is both the blended mode, that is a combination of both. What is that? Combination of substantial law and Kaunara, mute. John Pau Kaunara. Yes, I appreciate. Yes. Law of evidence is a nussu, part is a procedural law and nussu is a adjective law. But I found even a certain part is Criminal Procedure Act is substantial. But overall we can say it's a criminal procedure. Means it is a procedural law. So what I want to say is, in which category that you will keep it the law of evidence? Tell me. In which category that you will? Do you keep it in the procedural laws? Do you keep it in the substantial laws? Yes, online people.
Yes,
Online
sir.
and offline.
Yes.
In which category that you will
Procedural.
keep the law of evidence? Is it a procedural law? Is it a substantial law? Sir, it is a katikati. Say katikati.
Procedural, sir.
Branded.
It's a blended law, but there is a specific name is there. Adjective law. Adjective law. Spelling? ADJECTIVE. Adjective law. Is it clear? Say yes.
Yes.
Appreciate.
Yes.
Appreciate. Like it.
Yes.
Neither the man nor the woman. Kati, what do you call? Just before I told you. What do you call in Kiswahili or na Kingereza?
Hermaphrodite.
Neither is a man nor is a woman. Kati.
Hermaphrodite.
Transgender. It's called? What do you say in Kiswahili?
Shoga.
Shoga. Umepata? SHOGA. Okay, now let us, Shoga, how he goes. She goes like a woman by keeping the hand like this. Okay. Now let us come to the point of the common law and equity. And when you say the common law and equity, common law comprises of the body of rules which were developed by the common law courts of England. A common law is a man with a prudent mind could do such a thing is a common law practice. A man with a foolish could not do such a thing. For instance, I will give you one proverb. A wise man can learn lessons from the mistakes of others. I repeat, a wise man can learn lessons from the mistakes of others. But an unwise man will learn the lessons from his own mistakes. Then who is a prudent man? Then who is a prudent man? The ones who learn the lessons from others' mistakes. Is it clear? So that is the common law procedure. That is the common law procedure where a person should have to know it. So common law courts will follow the common law where, but in the common law there is some harshness also there. I don't know whether in the law of tort where you learnt it or not. You can break your wife's wrist. You know wrist? But you cannot break her wristwatch. Umapata? I repeat, common law principle is you can break. What do you say break in Pasuka? I don't say Pasuka, Chanika. Pasuka is a glass, Chanika is a cloth. So you can break your wife's wrist, means wrist bone. Ulna and radius. These bones are called ulna and radius. But you cannot break your wife's wristwatch because wristwatch is her property and the body is your property. Is it clear? That is a common law principle. But it is a bit harsh because she is also a human being and she is not a product. So they say that from common law, sometimes it's harsh. They say, okay, we will follow the equity principles. Equity principles we will follow now. So they say common law comprises of the body of the rules which were developed by the common law courts of England, and equity is a form of law developed by the court of chancery. Chancery courts will deal the equity. Court of chancery means equity court. And equity court, morality is there. Ethics is there. Natural justice is there. Because in equity courts, if you steal a alpin, you know alpin? Alpin, very paper, you can keep it pin. Alpin. If you steal the alpin, it's a theft. If you steal the aeroplane, it is a theft. Can the same punishment would be there? Because of the gravity of the offense, then the quantity of the punishment would be given. It is an equity principle. It is an equity principle. But what about the rape? If any person does the rape of a girl, is it not the inhumanity? It is not the stigma to her? And who will marry her? Sir, I only marry her. Then what do you want to make the rape? Sir, I cannot control. Is it the answer? Answer is hapana. Suppose the rape, what would be the punishment in Tanzania? How many? 30 years after the life. Still people are not doing the rape.
They are doing.
They are doing. Now see, I am not belong to any school of thought. I am giving only an example to make you understand. Suppose if the rape punishment is kata pumbu, cut your testicles. Now you tell me. Can anybody having the dareness to do the rape in the dream? In the dream also he could not do the rape. Am I right? Maisha ipo, kila kitu ipo. Amna pumbu, amna maisha. It is a life. Samani sister. It is a class discussion.
Bwana Yesu asifiwe.
Okay, Margaret. Sikiliza, Jan Kialo, sikiliza. So now, mute. Kialo, mute. Esther Kimaro, mute. Yeah, do you want to speak? You can speak. You want to contribute?
Punishment.
If anybody wants to contribute, you can contribute it. Okay, now mute it. I go further. The point my saying is, cut a person habit from the roots. Mizizi. Najua mizizi. Roots. When you cut from the roots, the bad element will not come out, germinate. That is the idea behind it. If you have a fear of like that, even nobody could do the rape in the dream also. So that is a school of thought. So equity principle says that, no. See, by any other means that he did the rape, it doesn't mean that he should be punished. Let him give the one more chance. Oh, not now let us see the equity principle. Now we'll see that whether she really did the rape is another question. Or she offered her body for the sake of Hela is another question. And how many times he repeated the BBC, the body-to-body contact, it is another question. So we will see the consequences, whether she make the open invitation to him. Are you following me? Is another question.
Yeah.
Whether she is married. Of course, she is married, we don't say rape, we say adultery. Are you following me? Okay, now the question varies in that. But equity principle, they will say that, okay, if he has taken the loaf of a bread, you say not a piece of a bread. What do you say? Don't say piece of a bread. Loaf of a bread. L-O-A-F, loaf of a bread means slice of a bread. But when you say water, a glass of water will say. A piece of chalk, you say. Are you following me? So this is the style of saying. But when you say chakula, morsel, M-O-R-S-E-L, morsel, that thing which can hold with your 5 fingers, it's called If a person has taken the morsel of your chakula or ubabwa or the rice because he is feeling hungry and he has stolen a loaf of your bread because he is hungry, can you steal? Can he steal the bread because he did not eat for the 3 days? Answer? No. Okay, he can make a compromise. Sir, I am hungry now. I cannot have the money, but you give me the piece of bread and some chaya maziva, chaya rangia. I eat it, but I work for the 2 hours, 3 hours in your hotel to pay the amount. So that is the equity principle are there. You have to check it. Why he has stolen the bread? Okay, he has stolen the bread to starvation. He is undergoing the starvation. Yes, okay, punishment is a bit little, but punishment should be there. Suppose if the punishment is not there, everybody give the same, everybody make the same defense. So that is the another extent. So now we did it only the perspective of the law, the nature of law, we did categorize it. But tomorrow class we did classification by application and usage. How we can classify it? By application of it and usage of it.
Mungu ibariki Afrika, wabariki viongozi wake, hekima, umoja na amani. Hizi ni ngao zetu Afrika na watu wake. Ibariki Afrika, ibariki Afrika, tubariki watoto wa Afrika. Mungu ibariki Tanzania, dumisha uhuru na umoja wake kwa waume na watoto. Mungu ibariki Tanzania na watu wake. Ibariki Tanzania, ibariki Tanzania, tubariki watoto wa Tanzania.
Asante sana na sikiliza mimi darasa online. Mungu akubariki na kukulinda.